Most times when we get angry with people, with life, the first thing we do is get frustrated, annoyed, angry, bitter. And unfortunately, a lot of the times, this attitude does not just stay contained within ourselves. It's not like we just have an emotion, acknowledge it, and then move on. Most times, what we do is we sit with the emotion, we indulge in it, we keep like having thoughts about it, and we keep kind of adding fuel to the fire, making our experience more negative. And on top of that, we spread our negativity to other people, like without even trying to, right? You're fixated on all these like negative thoughts and emotions. Somebody comes up to you asking you for a favor, and you like kind of snap back at them for no reason when they're just asking you for like a simple thing. The point of this video is simply to be patient with the people around you, with life, to never allow yourself to be carried away by emotion, to allow yourself to like feel, not necessarily feel anger, right? Because that's something a lot of people confuse with stoicism. Stoicism is not about shutting down emotion. It's not about not feeling things, but it's about asserting control over those feelings. It's about having stability in your own foundation so that when those emotions come up, when like these temporary emotions and desires come up, you have something else to kind of go back to. You have something else to refer to so that you stay grounded, so that you don't get lost in those passions. Again, that's not to say that in and of themselves, these desires and emotions are bad, but like, let's be honest, a lot of the time, emotion and desires don't get us anywhere good. Most times they work to our detriment because we're not in control of them, because we let them control us. The point is that most times, especially with people, we allow our emotions to get the better of us, which leads to us having less peace, which leads to us having worse interaction with people. Most times, the point is, most times what we do when we have like a negative experience with a person, when somebody's being kind of annoying, kind of brutish, right? They're not conscious of their surroundings. They keep like bumping into you. They're in your personal space. What happens is we get carried away by emotion and we overreact, right? Or sometimes even worse, what we do is we suppress those emotions and we kind of have like this buildup inside of whatever it is, but we don't actually confront the situation. We don't say anything about it. We just kind of accept it and sit there. Instead of being on one or the other end of these extremes, both of which take away from your peace, both of which take away from your clarity of judgment, why don't you just like stay in the middle where you can feel an emotion and then acknowledge it, say, okay, this guy's bothering me, and then tell him like respectfully, and then confront him, but with tranquility, with calm, without that like agitation of emotion, but also without that like anxiety or fear of saying something. And being patient doesn't even have to just be with people, right? It can be with life itself. It can be with your own desires, right? Let's say you're in the gym and you all of a sudden get really hungry, you know, and you want to go home and you want to eat, or you want to buy a protein bar from the like little shelves. Be patient. Don't just like be a little monkey and go snatch like the food because you felt a second of hunger. Sit with the hunger. Be patient. Allow yourself to finish the workout and then you go home. Delay gratification. When, let's say, I don't know, what's another example? You're waiting on something, like a delivery. This is a delivery that you need, like let's say it's essential for your work. You need this thing delivered to your house so that you can keep expanding your business, whatever. Instead of like constantly checking your phone and seeing if it's there, and then if it's like a day late, being like, oh, my fucking pieces of shit, Amazon, they never delivered my stuff. Why not just, okay, place the order, check it like every now and then, and if it's a day late, you say, okay, well, whatever, I'll get it later. And if I don't get it, I can always file a claim and get a return. Most of the time, We make things out to be worse than they really are simply because we're not patient enough, simply because we want everything in this moment now rather than having to get it later, or having to wait a little bit, or having to endure a little struggle in order to earn that thing. We've gotten so used to being like spoon-fed all of our pleasure and comfort that when it comes to just like not getting your way, a lot of people, especially like this younger generation, has a hard time doing that. Not only do you take away from your own peace, your own clarity of mind, but you potentially ruin relationships with other people, important people, people who you love, because you like are on a short fuse. There was actually a video that I saw a while back of this woman who was like in her 20s, right? Early 20s. And the manager called the cops and said, listen, this employee isn't leaving. She's like being a nuisance. Can you please kick her out? She was not being arrested. Nothing was going on. All she was being told to do was leave the property. That's it. And imagine like you're working at a gas station. It's an unfulfilling job, low paying. If somebody told you to leave, you would probably just get up and go, right? Because of her ego, because of her lack of emotional control, that escalated to felony charges because she ended up assaulting an officer. I believe she also got like trespassing, something like that. The point is, she literally had to get strapped in a chair, like one of those people in like an asylum do, simply because she kept trying to kick and bite people when she could have just left and that would have been the end of it. When in reality, if she hadn't been on a short fuse, if she had more emotional control from the get-go, the cops wouldn't have even been called. So how can we become more patient? Well, the simplest way is simply to be mindful, right? When you talk to people, when you go out in the world, always be mindful of the fact that you are not in control of the externals. You are not in control of people, of the weather. You are not in control of how things play out. All you are in control of are your own thoughts and actions. That is the most that you can influence the world. And so this is where you should focus all your attention. You never have to let yourself get carried away by those emotions of anger and impatience, right? That is when like things start to go, or things start to get out of hand. You can still be confrontational, but with calm, with control, right? With clarity of mind. And so when you go to school or the gym, keep this in mind. Always be present in your environment. Always consider that you can't control people, that you can't control external things, that all you can control is your own response and your own actions. That's going to be all for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it helped. If it did, please like, subscribe, comment, let me know if you agree, if you disagree, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.